Doom Tower cleared. It's day 54 now. I completed it on day 51. I've been sick, I haven't gotten this video uploaded, but let's have a look at how I got this done, how I beat all of those bosses. It is, guys, rotation number 3, I believe. It's the Dark Fae rotation, and we have the Doom Tower cleared. I needed to use a couple of different tricks to beat this, okay? So we have a few roadblocks. If we look here, we have Bommal, we have Scarab, we have Celestial Griffin, and we have Dark Fae. Now, one of the big things that I realized in this is sometimes less is more, and that applies to 3 of the champions here, 3 of the bosses here. Less champions gets the job done easier, okay? And sometimes the stat that we often neglect the most can be the most important for some of these Doom Tower bosses. So let's have a look. We'll start at Bommal. So this is the 3rd level, so Bommal 90, normal. It is normal, guys, but remember, this was done, he would have been done 48 days in, maybe something like that. So this was the team that I used to get there, to get the Bommal and do a bit of damage, all right? Now, none of these guys are important at all. Okay, I just brought them along to get a couple of slaps in on Bommal himself, and we'll actually take out him and we'll put in her, because I've changed gear since, and we'll do a little quick run and see what we see for this, and then I'll show you the builds of the important champions. So as you see there, we just had Uugo for the debuff and then Alice for the attack, with Wukong supporting.
Stop right there, guys. Click on the link below and get yourself a free Karato Fox Hunter, as well as 4 amazing epics. Here's the exact steps of what you need to do. Log out of Plarium Play on PC. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Here we go. You'll find yourself Karato Fox Hunter, as well as Uugo, Rector, Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. That's it. It's that simple. Click on the link, follow those directions, and on with the video.
Now, I have changed Wukong's build, but I'll show you and tell you what the build is. We can see what's happening here, and everybody else should get killed pretty much now. But we see, if we look right here at Vergis, he has not gotten any debuffs. That's the way we want to keep it, guys. We want to keep him debuffed. Now, he does have his ally protection going on, and he has everybody dead now. Now, the fact that we have Alice in there is actually a bad thing, because Alice is too strong. Alice is too survivable. So when I had Kale in there, Kale died straight away, okay? And we want Kale to die straight away. Or if I had been manualing there, I wouldn't have put Vergis's ally protection, okay? So if we look at the team setup, I think we'll go to round 3. Yeah, because I changed things, the ally protection was back on. So you can see I have it turned off there. That does need to be turned off. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of different champions you can use instead of Vergis in conjunction with Wukong. But let's have a look at the builds, okay? So we'll save that, and I'll go over the how this works, okay? So we'll do a run as well, and I'll show you. I won't show you in full because it takes a while. Now, looking at this, not everything is even rolled up yet, guys, okay? But we do have a good resistance piece. We have the resistance up at 257, which isn't extremely high. To be fair, now it's not at all. We also have the speed at 178, which again is not very high, but it worked. And why is that? So we have a 1-star blessing on him. We have emergency heal on him, so he's getting a little bit of extra heal there. But let's look at his skill set. So Vergis, the A1 doesn't do much. Reflect damage, grand. The A2 only works on allies, okay? So it doesn't do anything for him unless he has an ally to place his buffs on, and we don't want that because it's an ally protect, and we don't want him taking more damage. His passive, however, places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of their max HP for 2 turns whenever he loses 10% or more of their max HP from a single hit. So he's constantly getting a shield on, he's constantly getting the healing from emergency heal. It is only a 1-star blessing. A higher blessing is going to make this so much easier. And then when he goes below 50%, he also gets the continuous heal as well. That is on a single turn cooldown. So all of that in conjunction works really well on him. Now, another blessing we could use there on him would be... can you think of the name of it before I get to it? Nourish. Nourish improves the healing from a continuous heal. So if I had Vergis faster, I'd probably go for Nourish. He'd get more value out of that, okay? Now, he would actually be much better at this if he was faster because his healing is passive. So, what gear does he have on? He actually has a Guardian set on. Why Guardian set, you may ask? Not for what Guardian set is known for, actually for the healing. So because this was day 50-51, I didn't have great gear, but I had been farming the previous Doom Tower and this one at lower levels, and we can see Wearer absorbs 10% of all damage dealt to allied champions. That's a bad thing in this case. However, it does heal by 10% every turn. So that 10% heal was huge for me. That's what we needed there, and that's what helped to keep him alive. Regen is much better. Immortal and Regen is much better. Immortal and Guardian is much better. Unfortunately, this was all I had, okay? So we'll go back in and have a look. Now, Wukong is in a nuker build now. Then, what I did as a wee trick was I put him in all of this toxic gear that I had. So he was just dying, coming back to life, getting a hit in, putting some poison on. He has War Master and Vergis has War Master. So let's just look at this again and we'll see if we can get an example of how it works. It's not going to be it, and we'll see how that runs. So this is the Bommal run. So we get our debuffs, we get our nuke, we kill the guys, the waves, we go again, and you can hear my voice is getting deeper and deeper. I don't know how long I'll last in this video. We want Bommal now to kill everybody. And as I said before, Alice is actually a bit too strong for our purposes here. We want our wave killers kind of made of paper in this section so that they die quickly and Vergis isn't absorbing any of their damage. So we have him back up at full health there, which is pretty good, and nearly everybody's dead. And the great thing about Wukong is, especially in the toxic set, he's going to keep on coming back and keep on just placing little poisons. Right, it doesn't work with Alice on the team. We need a weaker champion. The theory is sound there, and that's what will work, okay? That's what'll keep getting you through. The same thing with the same setup, okay? And we actually, I think if we have our, yeah, here we are. There's only 4 of us now who have beaten Scarab King on floor 100, and mine took 346 turns. So I think it took like 29 minutes or something like that, guys. It took a really long time. But the same thing happened here as well. We left Wukong in the same poison set. We had Vergis running with high resistance, and we were able to stop any of his nonsense. Now, the big thing that we have to look out for him is his counterattack when he's hit without a shield on. Now, I didn't have, I don't think, any shield rings for him, but it would have lowered the turn count significantly if I had had a blood shield ring to throw on Vergis. I think I did throw one maybe on Monkey King at the time as well, so that cut down massively on that. And Vergis, like I said, does have his own shield that he puts on due to his passive, so we were pretty well covered, okay? And that's it. We just wore him down through War Master and poisons. Now, you could technically put Wukong in a destroy set, but I think Toxic works just as well. But then again, I did take the longest, but I did do it easily, so I don't know. But yeah, two good options would be destroy set. If you were later in the game, you can hit harder, right? So if you have a good destroy set and really high level gear that you can hit, that you can smack really hard with Wukong, a destroy set's going to be massive for you, okay? If not, if you can only hit like a wet noodle, toxic set's going to be better. It makes sense, right? So that would be my advice. Cut your cloth to suit your situation, all right? Now, we go on to Pigeon here, and Celestial Griffin. I always forget his name and call him Pigeon. Again, we don't have that many champions, but this is what we went in with. They are my most survivable champions, okay? And the issue with Celestial Griffin is we're fighting him. What's happening is he gets a turn meter or a turn counter on the side of his bar. You'll see it now in a second. That bar increases on his turns, but it also increases when your team, anybody on your team, their health below 50%. Okay, so I ran previous versions of this with just 3 champions because they were my most tank. So this is Skybond counter. Okay, can stack up to 20 things. Buffs cannot be removed or blocked, and each stack increases attack by 5% and crit rate by 3%, crit damage by 5%, and speed by 2.5%. So if you get that up to 20, you're looking at 100% increase attack. You're looking at 60% increase crit rate, which means his crit rate is now at 75%. You're looking at, is that 100 crit damage as well? And you're looking at 50 speed. All of that adds up, so he'll absolutely murder your team. But you can see it's not going up as quickly because he's not getting the damage in on my team. See that? He's not getting the damage in to lower their energy below 50%. So adds 1 Skybond buff to Grittion at the start of each turn. Also adds 1 Skybond buff to Grittion whenever an enemy's HP drops below 50%. Okay, that's the big thing that messes people up. This counter going up fast is what kills people. It's not his buff removal or his debuff swap or anything like that. When this gets too high too quickly, you lose control of the fight. He's going faster, he's doing more damage, he's critting more, and he has way more crit damage. Then he just nukes your team out of it. See, he's still not getting any of them below 50%. We're going to heal up, we're going to get continuous heal, we're going to get defensive stuff on, and he's not going to get any more stacks of that. So that's how that works with this team. You want a tanky team against Grittion. You want to be able to do damage. You still want to kill him quick so the stacks don't get too high, but it's important to be able to do this like this. And will we watch to the end of the fight? I think you see what's going on there anyway. So denied, and we will move on to the next one, guys. Okay. And actually, before we go on to the final one, which is Dark Fate, here is actually a recording that I forgot I made basically for you guys because I've been under the weather. This is a recording of the run that I did with Bommal. So he's doing damage. Vergis is healing up there. He's getting his continuous heal on. The bombs aren't killing him. Now, he did take a single bomb there, bomb debuff rather than one of his bombs. So these bombs just deal 50% health damage, regardless of your defense, regardless of your health. They deal 50% of your health in damage. The only thing I think that can mitigate that is some of the passives, and you can see most of the damage there came from Vergis, but Sun Wukong done half, and that was all through Toxic Set. Okay, that's how we done that. Now, I did say as well, guys, that I had a couple of different options for you for that champion, and I'll show you them now. So before we go on to Dark Fate, I want to talk about a couple of champions that could do that really well. One, to my eternal shame, would have worked perfectly there, okay, and that would have been Burungiri. I was so silly to feed him. I was just like, I've never used Burungiri, I'm not going to use him. And I even thought to myself, oh, he could be a really good combination with Wukong. Is it because of his provoke? No. Is it because of his AoE stun at a 60% chance on a 3-turn cooldown? Why did I feed him? Is it because of his AoE strengthen and shield? No. It's because of this. Heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or an enemy dies. So when the bombs go off, they count as an enemy. So they're doing 50% damage, and he's getting healed by 50% as well. Couple that with Wukong on your team dying, and he's getting healed by 50% as well. So he's going to survive everything. Wukong is the perfect pairing for Burungiri, and I can't believe I fed him. On top of that, resistance in all battles. What did I say we needed to build up? Resistance. I'm an absolute fool. Make sure you don't feed champions like that are going to have, like, he has a fantastic rare ability. I say rare because there is one other champion that I want to call out as being brilliant for this, and she's called Lady Booba in my clan. And you'll see why in a second, but she is Lady Annabelle. Where are you? Come on, stand up, take a bow. There you are. So yeah, I can't think why my clan calls her that, and it was ladies that started calling her that, not the gentlemen. So she has a heal on the A1, 3% of her max HP, nothing to be sniffed at. She has a leech, which also helps her out as well, and a decreased speed. She has a revive on death. We don't use this really at all. And then this heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or an enemy dies. Now, Lady Annabelle is by far I'm not going to say the best, but the most easily accessible, I think, and easily geared champion to do Bommal. The best is probably Eurus Soul Cage. I've never used them, but Annabelle, I think, is the easiest and best to use for sure. Now, back onto Dark Fae. We were talking about this. So the team is going to look very familiar to you guys, okay? This is it. Now, what makes this so different? Let's have a look. I think I did a bit of a recording for this as well, so I'm just going to pull it up here, and I did. All right, so if I flick over to this, you'll see the run here, so you'll see what's going on here. We have her down to half health as well, and you can see that's the important bit there. You can see who was taken here. You can see that it was Kale. It wasn't my Alice. It wasn't Alice. Why is that? So Dark Fae always takes I was about to say your strongest, and that's the mistake people make. She doesn't take your strongest champion. It's not like Shogun, where she targets your highest crit damage champion. Dark Fae always takes your highest attack champion. Your highest attack champion, which means, and I said this in an earlier video, means you can manipulate her into taking a dummy target. So you can see we wore her down there and got the job done. There's nothing more really important. It is just going through the phases and taking her. One other thing I will call out as regards Dark Fae though is she has a boss guide. Let's go. Her Fae Mirror passive, where is it? Is it this? No, it's Dark Tendrils, okay? So you should be selective who, not necessarily who, but what affinities you put on your Dark Fae team. And this is something I have never heard anybody talking about at all. If you want to have an easier time with Dark Fae, do not have a lot of Force champions on your team. Do not have a lot of Void champions on your team. And do not have a lot of Spirit champions on your team. The reason for that is for every Void champion on your team, she gets an extra 25% chance of putting fear on your team. So she starts at 25%. If you have one Void champion, so I had Sabaton, that means she had a 50% chance of fearing my team. If I had another, it'd be a 75, and another, it'd be a 100% chance of landing fear on all of my champions. Fear just ruins your runs, takes away your skills, it absolutely breaks your composition, okay? Now, then we have, what did I say? We said Force, yeah? So Force steals turn meter from each enemy according to the number of Force champions on the enemy team. So basically, if you have, let's say, a full team of Force champions, she's going to steal 60% of turn meter from everybody, which means she's going to be overfilling and going again immediately after Dark Tendrils. If you don't have any Force people, she's only stealing 10%, so you're going to be able to cut in. All right, she's not going to go immediately again. And the reason I say don't have much Spirit on your team is you only want to have to get our energy bar down once. If you have a load of Spirit people on your team, it's going to heal her by 10% of her max HP for each Spirit champion on your team. So if you have a full team of Spirit champions, guess what? Dark Fae is healing by 60% each time she uses Dark Tendrils. So I went with as much magic as I could, because magic only relates to her stealing buffs, okay? So you could actually go with a full magic team, and if I had Uugo in there, Uugo would place block buffs, and that would mean that she wouldn't be able to steal any buffs. She'd strip them off you, but she wouldn't get them onto her, and then you'd be absolutely protected, okay? So let's have a look at Kale's build, and I'll also talk about Alice's build, because I changed both for this composition. Now, looking at this, Alice is built with loads, all the damage and speed, okay? 5,000 attack, 200 crit damage, full crit rate, and fast. She's my worst nightmare if she gets stolen. That's it. It's game over for my squad if she gets stolen, because she's going to wipe out my team. Now, we don't bring Wukong because Wukong will revive and wipe out your team as well. But what we did do with Alice is we took off this banner and we put her, so the banner is attack. So we lowered her attack by nearly 400 by removing that banner. We also took this ring off and put on, I still wanted the revenge, so I think I put on this one here, and you can see it dropped it by another nearly 300. So we lowered her attack by almost 700. And then what we done with Kale was we built them. Oh, I've rebuilt them, guys. I was doing stuff last night and rebuilt them. But basically what we done with Kale was we had show you exactly what I did now. So we'll go to fitting room, we'll go to these, and we will go to primary stats, attack percent, okay? So we had him in, that is attack already. Did somebody else take them? They did, maybe they did. We had attack, try on, and we had boots then as well, try on, and we had him up at 4,623. We took his crit rate away, we took his speed away as well. So that means that he wasn't getting a turn when Dark Fae took him away from us, okay? So we killed his speed and put his attack really high and took everything else away from him. That means Dark Fae took him because he has the highest attack. And then we went, that's cool. He's not going to get a turn because he's so slow. We killed him and we were able to then just go about our business of damaging and killing Dark Fae. So that is the dummy strat that I was talking about before. Really effective if you do not have turn meter control on your team, which I don't because I'm so early game and it is so free to play. So that's it, guys. That is the 4 Doom Tower bosses and the strategies I use to beat them. Let me know what you think. Let me know, I know obviously there's 100 ways in which we could improve this. Turn meter control on Dark Fae is huge. Scarab obviously destroy sets on Blood Shield rings or champions with destroy max HP. Griffin, if you just have some awesome nukers, you can blow through them. And obviously there's bomb strats for Bommal. I have all of them in my main account. This account is all about being 50 days in and doing Doom Tower to its fullest, guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know any other easy cheesy strats. One that I did tinker about with for a while was I got Paragon, and Paragon would be able to solo both of these bosses as well. So high resistance fast and with War Master, and he'd be your boy. And we also seen Templar, a farmable rare that you can get as well. He can do pretty much the same thing, but he has to be speed tuned, so watch out for that one. Okay guys, listen, that's it from daithiraids. Take care, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.